Hello, my name is Kai and welcome to my channel, The Health Journey. After 5 months, I am finally back to make another video and to tell you guys where I've been. But first of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who's watched my videos and the subscribers I got during the time that I was away. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I've been gone for about 5 or 6 months and I wanted to come back and update you guys about my health journey and where I am currently and where I would like to be going forward. So last year, I lost 60 pounds total and I kept off 40. My goal was to get to the weight that I was before I relapsed and I didn't get there. But I'm happy for what I got overall. So I struggle a lot with consistency. Like that is my biggest weakness as of right now is consistency and yo-yo dieting, and therefore my weight yo-yoing up and down the scale like crazy. And it is just so difficult for me to stabilize my weight in one place. So that drove me to the point last year where I just kind of got tired of it. And not that I gave up on myself, but I took a break from actually trying to lose weight so that I can just kind of like chill and sit back and observe what in the world is going on and what needs to change in my life so that things can be better going forward. And in my first video I did on YouTube, I shared with you guys that I am much more so a food addict. So eating for me is more so physical than it is emotional. But last year I started to really question that, and I got the idea that I'm more of a food addict from reading books. But I started to question, what if I am a little bit more emotional than I thought I was? Like, what if there are emotions involved in my eating that I never really knew was there? And so I started kind of exploring that just a little bit to see if I can take a new angle and a new approach to things. And so I had the idea to maybe get a health coach, because I am a huge proponent of getting some type of help when you're struggling with things. And things just, as far as like my weight loss and my goals and my behavior, things just weren't clicking. It felt like a piece of the machine was off and I wasn't functioning optimally as I should have been, as I hoped to have been. And so yeah, I decided to get a health coach. I met with him just a few days ago and I described to him what was going on. I explained the relapse that I had after the pandemic, but he told me and he confirmed my suspicion that, you know, everything that I described in my past is actually very emotional and very much so tied to my eating behavior. And that really has shifted me inside, because now I finally reached a point where I can look back in the past, observe certain behaviors that I had, and figure out what emotions were involved, or figure out what emotions were involved at times where I struggled the most with my eating. So I'm gonna share a little bit of that with you guys today. So I think the biggest emotion I have that causes me to eat a lot is being in a state of fear and anxiety. And a lot of my fear and anxiety, I realized, came from trying to kind of diet. It was never my intention to diet back then while I was gaining all my weight back. But I was vegan before I had my relapse. And one day I went to the store, I ordered a vegan chicken salad, and I accidentally picked up real chicken salad. And I took a bite of that, like one small little bite. I took one small little bite of that. And ever since then, I could not go back to being vegan. And the way it was in my mind was that, okay, I took one bite of little chicken, maybe I can go get those Doritos I was craving. And when I went to go get the Doritos, beside the Doritos were like cheese puffs. I'm like, oh, I haven't had those in a long time. I'll get that too. And I also think on the way out, I probably picked up a Debbie snack, because I love Debbie snacks. That's a weakness of mine. And it was just downhill from there. And so that's where the stress began, because it wasn't my way of eating. That was to me supposed to just be a moment. It wasn't supposed to be something that settled in to my lifestyle because I worked so hard to get out of it. And it was slowly creeping back upon me. So I would constantly go back and forth with being mostly vegan, but having some more vegetarian-like items every here and there. And over time, it got a whole lot worse, and I started to see a little bit of weight gain from it. And also, because of the weight gain, it kind of drove me into anxiety, right? Because that's what happens when you start gaining weight. Your clothes don't fit the right way. You get a little bit of anxiety. So I told myself, you know what, today is the last day, the last moment that I'm having something vegetarian. Tomorrow I'm going back to being strictly vegan. I don't like vegetarianism. I don't like how it drives my behavior. I don't want anything to do with it. So unknowingly, that mindset, that all or nothing mentality, created more fear and frustration, because if this is my last moment, I'm going to take advantage of it and I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to eat whatever I want. Whatever I think of that I want, I'm going to eat it because this is my last moment. And so I don't know how many times I told myself that this is my last moment, or this is my last week, or I'm starting again on Monday. But if you pile all that up and total it, it lasted for 2 years. It took me 2 years to wake up out of that cycle. And here's another mistake that I realized. So another big mistake that I made during that time was thinking that I could go from 0 to 100 overnight. See, I assumed that because I had lost weight before, and because I had a great foundational knowledge of how to live a healthy lifestyle, that I didn't have to go through all those transitional steps to get back to optimal health. I honestly kind of thought that was beneath me. I thought that was maybe for people who were just starting out, people who were doing it for the first time and who had never lost the weight. But after 2 years, I finally realized I'm not exempt from that. I am on the ground. I'm at level 0. I have to take steps to get to where I want to go. I don't get to just go from 0 to 100 overnight. I thought that I could just tell my mind and body exactly what to do and when to do it, and it would just do it for some reason. But it failed me over and over and over again. And demanding something of your mind and body is useless when you're not going to take the steps to get there. When I make decisions like that, it puts me into extreme anxiety, fear, shock, panic, all of that stuff, because I've been enjoying eating whatever it is that I want that's vegetarian or pescatarian at this point. And now I expect myself to just wake up Monday morning and start eating all fruits and veggies, eating perfectly clean, exercising at least 5 days a week when I've been on the couch, laying in bed. Like, it just doesn't work that way. And so to have that mentality, I learned, is very dangerous. And I'm glad that I woke up from that, because a lot of people go through those cycles where they're always starting over and they think, okay, this is going to be it, but it's never it. And they don't take a step back to observe and to understand, okay, what is it in my behavior or in my way of thinking or in my habits? Like, what do I need to change? So I finally accepted that I have to take those baby steps to get back to where I want to go. And it might take time, but in my opinion, something is better than nothing. And I do believe that as long as I keep working at it and keep changing what isn't working, then I know that I'll get back to where I want to be. And also something that is very frustrating, but I have to accept it anyways, that weight loss is a lot of back and forth. So weight loss isn't linear. There's going to be setbacks. There's going to be times where I get frustrated. But I've been on this journey long enough to know that when something's not working, you got to change it up really, really quickly. So my first goal is to get out of this all or nothing mentality. So I want to start my journey this year by doing some mental work. And what I mean by that is I don't want to eliminate all bad options just because they're bad or unhealthy for me. Saying things like that to myself just causes a lot of fear and anxiety, and I don't want to think that way. I want to be able to accept that all of these things are options and I can choose any food I want if I want it, but I'm choosing to eat healthy today. And when I see it that way, it makes me feel a whole lot better because instead I'm growing in discipline and increasing in willpower. And for me, that would be ideal. I understand that there are some foods that, you know, maybe I just shouldn't touch at all, but I don't want to think about that right now. I don't want to drive my anxiety through the roof. I just want to learn how to get rid of that all or nothing mentality when it comes to eating, so I don't end up having an emotional binge eating session. I also want to make another attempt at getting to my first goal weight, which is 190. That's the weight that I was before I gained all my weight back during the pandemic. I thought that I would reach it last year, but I didn't. So with some growth and with some motivation and a willingness to learn and unlearn, I hope that I can reach that. I'm actually hoping that I can reach that by June 1st this year. Right now it's the beginning of February, so I think that's like February, March, April, May, June. So that's like 5 months to lose about 50-ish pounds. So hopefully I can do that. And of course I have other goals, but that's just a start. Is I really want to get back to that weight because that's the best I've ever felt in my life. So yeah, I'm just gonna take it little by little, and you guys will be seeing much more of me. So I hope you all look forward to that. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.